What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. Today I have for you a big box good. That's right, today we're going to be taking a look at the International Concepts Xander flip-flop for men I picked up at Macy's for $25.50. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and a first impressions. I'm going to talk about what I like about this flip-flop as well as some of the things that I dislike about this flip-flop. And last but not least, we'll try this flip-flop on and walk around in it so you can get a good first impressions or good idea as to how well these sandals fit as well as how comfortable they are. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this unboxing and first impressions. Okay, so walking into Macy's, this is the box and brand you'll want to look for. It's an all black box with white lettering on the top. It's a little bit different from the abbreviation USA, for example, because United States of America, as we all know, is 3 words. International Concepts, on the other hand, is 2 words. So they are abbreviating international with the dots, and you'll notice that they don't have a dot after the C. So look for this brand in store, International Concepts, and I think it's a fitting name because this sandal or flip-flop definitely does incorporate a few different design aspects, some design aspects that shoppers in the United States are more drawn to, and aspects that shoppers maybe in European countries are more drawn to. And what's awesome is they are only $25.50 and you can pick them up at Macy's. So you'll notice from the side of the box momentarily here that it is a red flip-flop, that it is the Xander style because it is clearly labeled on the box. And last but not least, when shopping for this sandal, just be aware that they do come in 2 sizes per pair. This size is a 10-11, a size up would be a 12-13, or a size down would be an 8-9. Let's go ahead and get into this first impressions and try this sandal on. Okay, so now that we know what to look for in store, we know this is the Xander flip-flop by International Concepts, and we also know this comes in 2 sizes per shoe. Let's talk about what the build quality is like and what caught my attention about this shoe in store. Really not much going on here in terms of characteristics. Just the fact that they are red is enough to set them off and make them stand out on their own. You'll also notice there are some grooves in the footbed of the shoe as well. Let's go ahead and get into the build quality and the design of these flip-flops because feature-wise, they are just a little bit left to be desired. But again, for $25.50, they really do offer some features that are important over style, for example. Okay, so what caught my attention about this flip-flop is not that it's bright red, but that it actually looks similar to a Birkenstock sandal. Now I know Birkenstocks use leather as well as cork and rubber upon other materials, and the look and style of a Birkenstock is different as well. You don't get the straps, instead you get just this over the foot cover here like every other flip-flop you've ever seen. But what makes this look like the Birkenstock here is actually the sole of the shoe itself. It's actually the same depth from the heel all the way to the front of the foot at the toe. It actually does taper off at the very top of the shoe, but for the most part, it retains that same thick treading throughout its entire design and actually gets even thicker at the back of the shoe. And what this allows International Concepts to do is it allows them to mold the footbed of the shoe so that it can actually contour to your foot. And as you'll notice, like I said before, you do get a couple of little undulations in here that help keep your foot in form and in shape as you're walking, which is why the Birkenstock shoes are so important, because they do emphasize good form and shape of your foot while walking. In particular, the ball of your foot should be up in the air and off the ground, as where the front of your feet and the back of your foot should be planted in the shoe itself. And as you can see, you get a really nice dimple at the back of the shoe for your heel. You get a nice contour that actually works its way towards the outside of the ball of the foot. So the ball of the foot is actually meant to sit on the inside of the flip-flop, closer to the inside edge of the flip-flop. And then your toes are positioned at the front of the shoe so that it keeps the ball of the foot raised and at the center of gravity. Okay, let's talk about the build quality here a little bit more in detail. So the International Concepts brand is actually apropos. Like I was saying earlier, it is a mix of American style and European style. First and foremost, because it looks like the Birkenstock with the thick sole. It almost looks like a wooden plank that you would strap to your foot. But obviously it's for healthy walking and healthy style. This is meant to be worn for long periods of time. You could dress the sandal up with a pair of cargo shorts or a pair of jeans. That is a popular style here in the United States for many men my age and older. But most importantly here, because it is all rubber, it's actually inexpensive to manufacture. The combination of a slide and a Birkenstock. So you get the comfortability, I think, and the pleasure of wearing this sandal, much like you would get from a Birkenstock, but with the style that an American male, such as myself, is more relatable to. This is definitely a little bit easier to get into. This is definitely a style that if you are used to wearing but want the comfortability of the Birkenstock sandal and want something with the thick tread or sole all the way throughout, this is a really good option. As you can see, the quality of the flip-flop is awesome because it's only two pieces and a solid color. There are no deficiencies here, but like I said, you'll find that this is just an extremely well built shoe and comfortable too, because like I said, you get the thick sole all the way throughout. And last but not least, before we try this sandal on, what's a little bit funny and a little bit interesting, I think you'll note, is the footbed of the shoe has a leather grain look to it. It does look like it would be leather, but pressing down on the footbed of the shoe and running my finger along it, even though it is soft like leather, it definitely is rubber. It actually looks like it has a leather grain to it that's maybe aged over time. It has some cracking in it. I think had International Concepts gone with just a flat, plain look, these would have been a little bit left to be desired, but I digress. I think it looks great, and what actually makes this shoe look a little more casual and dressy than, say, for the beach or the lake house is that leather grain. Had these been optimized for water, which you can still take these around water, I think you would have gotten a different design on the footbed, one that would encourage you to wear this around a pool or in a lake or at the gym in the sauna, for example. Without further ado, let's go ahead and try this on. All I wanted to point out was it looks like leather on the footbed, but it's just rubber. So don't confuse the two, please. Okay, so now that we've done the unboxing and first impressions, we know what to look for. We know this shoe comes in two sizes per shoe. This is the 10-11 style. Should I have gone for a 12 or 13? We will find that out here in the next segment in just a couple of minutes. But just to end this segment, what I like about this shoe obviously is the price tag and the fact it looks like it offers the same comfort and support as a Birkenstock. One other quick note I want to make before we try this shoe on is that this is definitely more of a casual flip-flop and not one to be worn at the beach or the lake or even the gym and the sauna, even though you could, because like I said, this is all rubber. I think the leather grain look on the footbed gives this shoe a more casual look something that you would wear maybe with a pair of jeans, with a t-shirt, or a pair of cargo shorts, or a pair of gym shorts, just to feel relaxed and casual and just for ease of use. So let's go ahead and find out how comfortable this shoe is, and I'll give you my first impressions and tell you if I think you can wear this out or not. Okay, so here in front of us is the Xander flip-flop. This is the size 10 or 11. A couple of interesting notes I want to make during this try-on impressions segment of the video. Let's go ahead and slip these on our foot here. First and foremost, these are really comfortable. And one feature I forget to mention is the microfiber lining underneath the top of the shoe that sits on top of your foot. It's extremely comfortable. It's soft, it's warm. And actually, even though I was complaining about not being able to purchase these flip-flops in white or black, I do appreciate the bold, rich color the red has to offer. And actually, one thing I want to say about this shoe is, like I said earlier, it does come in two sizing options, a 10, 11. But for some reason, I feel as if that is referring to the way the foot feels on top of your foot, as well as on the bottom of your foot. So a size 10, I think, would mean that it's nice and tight and comfortable on the top of your foot, meaning my foot feels secure in this sandal. Therefore, it fits like a size 10 would, secure-wise on the top of the foot. And I also have plenty of room at the heel and the front of the shoe for my toes. I think that is the reason why this sandal comes in the two sizing options. Not that you want the 10 because of the longer or wider footbed, but because you want the security of a 10 on top of your foot, but the comfort of an 11 at the bottom of your foot. So a little bit of a mouthful, a little bit hard to explain here. I do appreciate the red now that I'm looking at them. They do give me just a little bit more character, I think, and definitely let me stand out in front of you here on the camera. Let's go ahead and see how these look on foot. As you can see, when I stand up in the shoe, even though my foot does expand and contract, you'll notice that I still have plenty of room at the front of the foot and the back of the foot there. And because this is such a thick sole, let's actually go ahead and compare this to a regular flip-flop here. But because this is such a thick sole, it really is extremely comfortable and allows International Concepts to put some of those grooves in there that would actually give this more support. So there is your typical flip-flop there. Look how thin it is. Let's go ahead and just prop it up here so we can get a thickness comparison. This is definitely more thick. As you can see, at the ball of the foot or the arc of the foot, there is much more support and structure compared to your typical flip-flop. But like I was saying, because it is such a thick sole, they can really get some of those grooves in there so you can just have a better experience wearing it and feel more support and more comfort walking around in it. Yeah, these are actually much nicer than expected. Like I was saying, because they fit on top like a size 10, they feel secure enough to walk around in. But a size 11 makes them just so comfortable to slide in and out of and to basically walk in, because like I was saying earlier, my foot has plenty of space to expand and contract now. Anyways, guys, that has been an unboxing and first impressions of the International Concepts men's Xander flip-flop in red, size 10, 11. I picked up at Macy's for $25.50. I hope this unboxing and first impressions cleared some important questions you may have had about this sandal. First and foremost, what caught my attention in store is the fact that it does look like a European-American combination, something that an American would style, but with the comfort of something a European would buy. Like I said, this does look like the Birkenstock. That is thanks in part to the thickness of the sole throughout the entirety of the shoe. It remains relatively the same. It does taper off at the front towards the toe, but that is to be expected so you can walk around in this flip-flop efficiently. One of the things that I dislike about this sandal is the bright red colorway. Even though I think it complements what I'm wearing fine, it definitely makes me stand out. I still would have liked to have seen this come in 2 different color options, which I have no doubt it does, but at the department store at Macy's, I was only able to find this red colorway. Had I found them in a black or a white, I probably would have chosen them. That being said, the build quality of this shoe is fantastic. Even though it is relatively inexpensive compared to other shoes on the market, because it is a flip-flop built out of all rubber, it is inexpensive to design and manufacture. So yeah, 25 bucks is kind of expensive for a sandal, but this is a good quality sandal. And last but not least, one of the most interesting features about this sandal, how we know for a fact this is definitely designed for casual use instead of at the pool or beach or lake, is the footbed of the shoe itself has this sort of leather grain look to it. It is not leather. This is 100% rubber. But like I said, I think if you were taking this to the pool or the lake or the beach, you would want maybe a more grippy surface or something that beads water just a little bit more efficiently than this. I think if you take this to a pool or to the beach, water will collect inside the shoe and be just a little bit uncomfortable to walk around in. It does have a microfiber lining underneath the top that rests on top of your foot. That is cozy and comfortable and feels premium, but if you do get it wet, I think it will keep the top of your foot wet and eventually become uncomfortable. Last but not least, what I love about this shoe are the contours inside of the shoe. Because it is a thick sole throughout the entirety of the shoe, that really gave International Concepts leeway to sort of dig out and sort of hollow out the inside of the sandal. Now, it's not hollow in the literal sense, but it is carved out to the contour of your foot, giving this more support and making it more comfortable to wear for long durations of time. Another reason I think this is geared more towards a casual look and less towards a beachy look or a pool look. Anyways, guys, that has been an unboxing and first impressions of the Xander flip-flop by International Concepts. I picked up at Macy's for $25.50. Because I picked these up at Macy's, that does make them a big box good. I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first impressions. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Hit the bell icon to get notified when we post to YouTube, and share this video with friends and family and tell them we review items from big box retailers like Macy's and Walmart and Target, as well as other stores and stores online like Amazon or Apple or any other store, for example. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.